everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rosario and I like to read books. So today's video was supposed to be the next part of my reading the Women's Prize for Fiction long list video, but I'm a little bit behind with the reading, so that's coming next week. So I thought I'd do something different, which is like essentially a bit of an old school favourites video. It's just things that I've been loving recently. Some of them bookish, some of them non-bookish. I love watching videos like this, so I hope you enjoy too. Let's start with something bookish because obviously, actually at the moment I'm reading Enter Ghost by Elizabeth Hamad, which is on the Women's Prize for Fiction. It's literally the entirety of the books I'm reading are Women's Prize for Fiction long list books. So we've got Enter Ghost. I'm also listening to River East, River West. So they're two very different stories about set in different parts of the world. They're both actually really good so far, like very promising, but I won't speak too much about them. But that is currently what I'm reading. And speaking of being behind on my reading, I think I haven't been reading as much, but I've been watching loads of films. I've watched quite a few good ones, notably Challengers, which I think I watched a while ago. I watched it like right on like one of the first screenings and it was so good. I wasn't expecting too much. I wasn't expecting it to have so much like depth to it. I thought it was just going to be quite like a just surface level story judging by the trailer, but it was actually really good. Like the story was so good. Like not much happens. They play a tennis match and you kind of see a little bit of history. Like it's so good in terms of the music was amazing. I don't know what they were doing, you know, I don't know film. I know books, but the music when they're talking and having like different conversations was so good. And also there's like so much in their facial expressions and the kind of like small things that you pick up, like the body language, the facial expressions. You get so much of the story through that. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. And then I've also been watching the Planet of the Apes kind of series, like the Rise of the Planet of the Apes and all those ones. I think I'd watched the first one in little bits and pieces, but I want to watch the latest one coming out. I think it's the latest one that's coming out. It's here. So I want to watch the latest one that's coming out. So I thought I'd like watch all of the ones leading up to it, which actually have been good so far. I really enjoyed them. But I didn't know how I'd feel about them, but I really like them. I've also watched some not so great ones. So I watched Star Wars Episode 1 in the cinema for the first time. This is my first time watching it. And I was under the impression that Star Wars was, you know, it was a series that's aimed at adults, not children. But I mean, this first one was very much aimed at children. And I think I was a little bit shocked. But it also, like, some parts of it, like, they talk about so much of, like, the Trade Federation, embargoes, and this and that. I'm like, how's this a children's film? Like, some parts of it felt so childish and some parts felt very adult. And it didn't really mesh very well. So I didn't really enjoy that one. But, I mean, now I can have an opinion on it, so... So I'm glad I watched it because now I can have an opinion on it. I've really enjoyed putting all my reviews into Letterboxd as well. So that's really fun. It's like Goodreads but for films. Oh, I watched All of Us Strangers. I've been meaning to watch that for ages and ages. And that was really good. I was very torn at the end by what was happening, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done. Even if I didn't particularly like the ending too much. Also very bookish related, I went to a talk at it's like a feminist retellings talk at one of the Waterstone shops where they were talking about like Greek myth retellings, which was really interesting. We had 3 different authors and I picked up Herc by Venetia Rogerson, which is a like kind of story detailing all of Hercules' life. When I listened to Venetia Rogerson talk, she said that there's not really a one tale place that tells his story, so she's tried to do that in this, and it just sounded really interesting from the way she described it and the how strongly she felt about putting all these things together and realizing as well that he's like this character who's not always particularly good, just gets herself into a lot of trouble. And I don't really know too much about him as a character, so I'm so interested in reading this. I got it signed and personalized while I was there, so I'm excited to pick this up once I finished all of my long list reading. And also while I was in London, I went to Uzumaki, which is like an anime inspired ramen restaurant, and it was so good. It was amazing. They also have this amazing bubble tea menu, and I tried like the strawberry and raspberry one and tiramisu one, and they both tasted like dessert. It was like, if you've got a sweet tooth, you know what I mean when things are amazing like this. It was bubble tea but dessert flavored. It was unreal. Like, I'm like trying to find an excuse to go again. And they also gave us these like free key rings. I don't know if you can see these like free key rings. It's a little uzumaki. It's like a little, it's like this little ramen key ring. They also have like a little gift shop where they have like different anime things that circle round. And then when you have like the chopsticks, they have these little cat holders for it. It was so cool. I'll put a picture up of what it looked like. And then they have this amazing like mural of just different anime characters from popular anime all around the restaurant. And obviously the ramen was so good, and I think everyone agreed that their ramen was really good. They have like 3 different ones for vegan and vegetarian, which I feel like if you're a vegan or vegetarian, sometimes your choice of food is quite limited, but I find 3 is like the most I find in ramen places. And it was also so good. Portion was really good, and it just tasted so good. Oh, I can't wait to go again and try all the vegan ones. My one was the Attack on Titan one. I think lots of it is Naruto inspired, as I think Uzumaki is like his surname, isn't it? If you love anime, if you love ramen, if you love both those things and you're in London, definitely go there. It's quite central as well. It's kind of by Tottenham Court Road. So if you're in London and you're looking for some ramen and you want to go somewhere anime inspired, definitely check it out. Like, highly, highly, highly recommend. It was so good. Can't wait to go again. Okay, and then we're going to go through other types of media that I've really been enjoying. Music and also games. Okay, so in terms of music, I'm going to Slam Dunk Festival at the end of the month, which is kind of like a pop punk festival that does like pop punk, emo, rock kind of music. I've gone like the last couple of years and it's always been so fun. So many bands that I like play there, and it's just like, you know, my teenage self and my current self, who still listens to that kind of music, really loves it. So Yumi at Six are playing, they're headlining, and I've been listening to lots of them. They're kind of breaking up essentially, so it's like their final kind of festival they're playing, and it will be really good for me to see them one last time, because they were actually like the first gig I ever went to. The first gig I ever went to was a Yumi at Six show, so I feel like it's perfect that I'm going to see them one last time before they kind of end things. And I'm listening to the whole playlist I've made. Who else is on there? I'm also seeing All American Rejects, which is, you know, another kind of momentous occasion, because I've listened to them since, I remember they were like the first band that I really got into when I was like 12. Not me, 12-year-old with no experience with anything, listening to Swing and, you know, just vibing with it so hard with no experience, no heartbreak, no any romance going on in my life, but just, you know, vibing so hard to those songs. And I've always wanted to see them, and whenever they would come, I was either too young or I didn't have any money for it, but I've never seen them before, and now I'm like, it's my chance to see them. My childhood dream is gonna come true. So I'm so excited about that, listening to lots of them. And also another band is Neck Deep. I didn't go to their show in Alexandra Palace, and then afterwards I saw everyone on Instagram posting about it, and I was like, I should have gone. And then I kind of went down this Neck Deep spiral, honestly. I started listening to their new album. I've like had it on constantly in the background while I'm doing things. The music that I'm listening to is essentially all of my childhood anthems, and then Neck Deep, who just have a song for everything, honestly. They're like modern day generic pop punk, which I kind of love, which goes really well with all the teenage pop punk I'm listening to. And then also, in terms of games I've started playing Dark Souls, which is hard. They're very hard. I've had to take many breaks from it, and I'm taking it very slow as I progress. Dark Souls is like a hard game where you have to fight enemies. Like, the world's all interconnected, and you open up these different shortcuts when you run through, and you just kind of fight enemies and kill bosses. You have to like really time your dodges and like strikes at the right time. If you've played it before, I've got to Blighttown, which is kind of like concentration has to be at good for me to play that game, so I haven't been playing too much recently, but that's what I'm currently playing, trying to get through that so that I can do more Souls games. And that's actually the end of my favourites, I think. You may, if you're in the UK, happy having many bank holidays. I'm not doing too much though, because I have to pay my car insurance, and that costs lots of money, and that's, you know, more money. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's slightly different from what I usually do, but I really love watching these, so I hope you did as well. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you want to see more from me, you can subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video, which should hopefully, fingers crossed, be reading the Women's Prize for Fiction Longlist Part 2. Thanks for watching. Bye!